Howdy, folks. A couple of announcements before I start tonight. We've been meeting here for several weeks now, and I get notes from folks every day saying they appreciate it, and I appreciate that you appreciate it. I am probably going to scale back a little bit, not do one every day for a while. A couple of reasons. One is I'm happy to report I'm really busy between declaring war on the local box elder population and just a ton of writing stuff and voiceover stuff and just work. I'm lucky to have it. And also, the weather's gotten a little nicer, and I've noticed that the number of views have gone down pretty markedly. And that's not me complaining, that's just me saying I think it's an okay time to back off just a little bit. I'll still throw some stuff up there several times a week for the foreseeable future. The other announcement that I have to make is that very shortly we've got yet another new book coming out. It's a book called Million Billion, and it's a collection of Roughneck Grace essays. It's currently available, as I speak, it's available on Kindle. We're rolling it out. Your big book publishers have these big, I don't know, campaigns where they have a rollout. This is like a trickle out. Probably by the time you see this, you can go to sneezingcow.com and pre-order the paper book. But in the meantime, I just thought tonight I'd read you a little something from this book that's actually not out yet. Let's see. Oh yeah, I wanted to read this piece called A Smashing Souvenir because I have something to show you when it's over. Once when I was old enough to drive, but still in high school, I took the family van to Bloomer and met my pal Greg at the bowling alley to play racquetball. At one point, I tried to hit the ball off the front wall right at the same time Greg tried to hit the ball off the back wall, and our rackets crashed together, slicing the pad of my right index finger and smashing the fingernail. By that evening, the fingernail was purple, and that night it throbbed so Mom had to do the thing where she heated up a sewing needle on the stove until it glowed and then lanced the nail. Medieval, but the relief was immediate. Getting hurt around Greg was second nature, as the first time we ever met, he and his siblings threw rocks at me, although I can't say with certainty he threw the one that hit me in the head. Later in high school for sport, he often chased me down the high school hallway while cackling and waving a wooden leg he had ripped from the math teacher's chair. He also once set me loose on a wild horse with a loose saddle cinch just to see if I'd survive. I always, understandably, I was always a little twitchy around him, but he was also one of those true blue roughneck pals who always had my back. One Friday night, we tooled up to Rice Lake, hoping to meet girls at the McDonald's. I can't recall the make of Greg's car, but it was big and green and had genuine bull horns mounted above the grill and a genuine cowtail slammed in the trunk so it draped over the back bumper. On our way out of the parking lot after our Big Macs, Greg punched it and sprayed gravel all over some Rice Lake football player's shiny four-wheel drive pickup truck. The restaurant, which was filled with the rest of the team as the game had just ended, emptied in a swarm, and we shortly found ourselves in a bona fide car chase. "There's a club in the back seat," hollered Greg. "Grab it!" Out of loyalty to our friendship and my own misguided testosterone, I grabbed the club, but in doing so saw 4 or 5 well-populated vehicles swerving all around us. At that point I did some math, then informed Greg the answer kept coming up: retreat. I suppose it was just the kind of lily-livered suggestion he expected from me, but after a quick glance in the mirror, he flattened the accelerator, and when we hit the city limits, the only thing still behind us was that cowtail, flying straight out in the wind. We did have our more tender moments. In 1983, Greg and I were each other's date for prom. Actually, we called it basketball farewell. A move that could be seen as wildly progressive, but may in fact been the result of limited prospects due to driving around in a big green car adorned with a genuine dead cow's tail. Eventually, he graduated, joined the Army, got married, spent time in the desert fixing tanks, came home, and last time I saw him, he was a diesel mechanic and had raised a fine son. That's shorthand, but life is quick. If you ask, I'll show you my fingernail, still deformed after all these years. Sometimes waiting at the dentist's office or on a trip far from home, I look at it and feel my youth as if yesterday. So, coincidentally enough, right now, that fingernail, which still has the misshaped little half moon, also, if I just whack it just the slightest amount, it bleeds. It has ever since those days in high school when Greg smashed it. And it's your lucky day because I don't know if you can see that or not, but yeah, there it is, the misshapen fingernail, and it's bleeding a little bit. That got weird. See you later, forward.